from My News 26 and CCTV. It's high school basketball. Coming to you tonight from Cadillac High School.
And welcome back to Cadillac High School. Jay Simon alongside Kevin Gregory, where the Cadillac Vikings have escaped with a 42-41 victory over the Traverse City Central Trojans. They move to 2-0 in Big North play, 3-0 on the season, as Vinny Genema hits one of two free throws with 4 seconds left. And the Vikings come away with a big win. It didn't look that way early, as the Trojans went off 5 threes in the opening half and had a 27-18 lead after the first 2 quarters. But the story of the second half, one word: defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both teams made great adjustments at halftime. It was just a well-coached game. I mentioned it, I think, during the third or fourth quarter. You could just see them. One team would make a run, great adjustment, have to do something different, and just both ends, got to give the hats off to both those coaches. It was a really nice job tonight. Absolutely.
We said that there was probably some talk about getting out on Trojans shooters by Coach Benzenberg in the halftime locker room speech, and they really did a great job in the second half. Trojans put up 18 points in the second quarter. They were held to just 14 in the entire second half. Just 1 3-ball hit after hitting 5 in that first half. And Preston Briggs, Zeke Turner, and Jordan Vicent only scored 2 points and no field goals in the second half after combining for 16 in the first.
Yeah, Cadillac did a great job extending their defense outside the three-point line, forcing Traverse City to do something else. And they did. They did something else. They started running Coach's son, Zeke Turner.
Yep.
Zeke Turner off 2-3 baseline screens, getting him open on the wing. But you have to credit the help and recover defense. And I want to point out the freshman Tip Baker did a great job fighting through 2 and 3 screens off the big 6'2", 6'5", 6'8" guys, and still maintaining enough space between his man to not allow those shots to go up like they did in the first half.
Yeah, Tobin Schwaneke, the standout sophomore guard for the Trojans, had a game-high 17 points, but he only had 6 in the second half, and a lot of that credit has to be given to Tip Baker and his defense.
Yeah, what he had some open looks in the first half. Everything was contested and challenged in the second half, and even great players like Schwaneke aren't going to be as prolific as they were with an open look.
Yeah, no doubt about that. As mentioned, Schwaneke leads all scorers with 17. Jordan Vicent, who just missed a 3-point attempt at the buzzer, actually just pre-buzzer. Actually, the buzzer went off when it came into the hands of Ben Sherwin on the weak side, but his shot came too late on the putback. He finishes with 10 for the Trojans. And then Preston Briggs with 5, Zeke Turner with 3, Fitz Dowd with 4, and Jack Bostwick with a bucket to round out the scoring for the Trojans. Meanwhile, the Vikings, led by Cooper Benson, who had 13 points, 10 in the second half, including a couple of big triples as the Vikings made their way back from that 9-point halftime deficit. Keegan Brooks finishes with 8 points, but in the stat, it's not an assist, but his drive and find to Vinny Genema in the paint, where Genema drew the foul and went to the line with 4 seconds left, was huge and what got them the win.
Yeah, a couple things. I mean, for Traverse City, Vicent had a great game tonight, and as just a junior, 2 big free throws to tie the game late in the fourth quarter. Those were huge to even, give them that chance. And then on the other end for Cadillac, a lot of young guys, and again, a new offense. Last year was a slower paced game, throwing it down low to Big Crago, and this year they're trying to get out in transition. They're trapping in the corners, and they're doing it well. Not hitting a lot of open looks right now, but they're getting great looks, and also driving to the hole. Got a lot of guys that can catch and finish in traffic. Cooper Benson, Vinny Genema, great hands, good finishers at the rim in traffic, and those are the kind of things they're going to have to do to continue this great start they've had in the Big North.
Brooks, as mentioned, finishes with 8 points. Vinny Genema finishes with 7. One no bigger than the one free throw he makes with 4 seconds left to give the Vikings the win. Clayton McCarthy with a quietly effective 6 points in the game, multiple big rebounds. I don't know what he might have had from a rebounding standpoint, but I know I said McCarthy's name a lot as far as rebound pulled down by. Hunter Rensbury finishes with 4, and then Maddox Hoagland and Tip Baker each with a bucket apiece. And Tip Baker just 2 points, but we've already talked about his defense and especially his ball handling, which allows Cooper Benson to not have to worry about bringing the ball up the floor. I have a feeling Benson would probably be the primary ball handler if it wasn't for Tip Baker. He takes that pressure off him.
Yeah, I think Keegan Brooks and Baker will complement each other well as a backcourt, kind of letting Cooper run that 3-man, kind of float outside, hit a few shots. You mentioned he can get hot in a hurry. when he does, and when the shot's not there, again, capable of taking it to the rack, and a really good leaper. He can finish at the rim.
The Trojans, as mentioned, they fall to 0-3, 0-1 in the Big North Conference, but this is a young Trojan team that going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think, in the Big North. Maybe a few things to kind of figure out from those sophomores and juniors, but that second quarter might be a little bit of a glimpse of what they might be able to put together for a full 32 minutes.
Yeah, they got some size and they got some skill. And as mentioned with talking with the coach before the game, all the seniors that are on the team didn't play basketball last year, so they really have no senior leadership per se, using your word per se, but no senior leadership per se on the squad. So early in the year, tough game on the road in the Big North. Almost pulled it off, lost by 1. It's going to bode well for them down the stretch.
Yeah, it's a great game. 42-41 our final. The Cadillac Vikings with the win over the Traverse City Central Trojans. Want to make sure we thank Pizza Plus, Cadillac Tire, and High Point Cadillac GMC for their support of these broadcasts here on 26 Sports and CCTV. Make sure you contact us if you're interested in supporting these broadcasts as well. We'd love to have you, and you can hear your business mentioned by the dulcet tones of Kevin Gregory. That's the bonus feature that you get. We want to make sure we thank the hardest working crew in television, Dakota Pike, our director, Kaylee Buck on graphics, and then our camera crew, Rain Johnson Hill, Levi Welch, and Kaylee Roby doing a great job. First time I've seen her running a camera here. She did a fantastic job on camera one tonight, so kudos to those young folks from over at the CTC and the DMP program. Next up for Cadillac, they're at TC St. Francis this Saturday. They've got Benzie on 12/19, and then we'll be back on TV here on January 3rd as the Cadillac boys will host the McBain Ramblers at 5:30, and the Cadillac Vikings girls will host the Manton Rangers at 7 o'clock. That's going to be a great pair of games. Meanwhile, TC Central is at home versus Dearborn on 12/16. That's your neck of the woods, Kevin.
It ain't the Heights, but it's a high.
That's right. They're hosting Marquette on the 17th. They host Birmingham Brother Rice on the 21st, so they got a busy few days ahead of them before coming back for Big North action against Alpena on January 3rd. That's going to do it for us. For Kevin Gregory, I'm Jay Simon. Thanks for joining us here on 26 Sports and CCTV. We'll see you next time.